Hey, hope you're doing well. So if you're looking into automating your trading, some form of automation, trading bots, or just placing your order algorithmically with Python on the Aster decentralized exchange, you've come to the right place. I've been working and I've prepared this nice little library. I'll tell you about all of this, but basically with this, you can do basically all you want in algo trading. So placing your orders, market, TP, SL, limit, trailing stop losses, batching orders if you want several at the same time, retrieving data, live prices, OHLCV data. Maybe you're looking into creating a trading bot. So you also want to get the data to compute your indicators, etc. So I've created all of this as usual on this channel. This is all open source. There'll be a link down below where you'll have all the resources, the link to the code, etc. So there you go. We'll just get into it right now. Okay, so let's dive in. First thing I need to mention is that we're not doing a Python programming video here. I'm not going to go into the details of all the programming. If you have questions, you can ask me. If you want to deepen your knowledge or learn about Python, I have a Python for Finance free course linked in the description down below, so feel free to go consult that. I'm just going to mention a few generalities about this so you know what's in there. But really, the point is just directly after to just get into the real deal, like placing orders, how you use each cell. We'll have an illustration of one thing you can do, etc. Cancel orders, blah, blah, blah. So what I want to say is that I've chosen to put this in a Jupyter notebook just because I want to link one thing with everything so you can get that. But of course, if you wanted to make it more professional, just come here, this cell here, this second cell of the notebook is basically this library through which we will be what we will be using to do all our algo training. So you could copy this, put it in a separate .py file, and then you can import that from wherever the script where you're doing your placement of orders, etc. I just put everything in one to make it simpler and more pedagogical to present to you today. Anyways, so first cell, this is to install the packages virtually in the session. If you don't want to install anything on your machine or whatever, this will do the trick for you. Okay. And I just want to mention there's basically authentication done in there, two methods. We'll look into both how to connect on Aster because it can be a bit technical and confusing. The point being, there is just one big class here that we'll be using to do everything. This is what the Aster futures that I coded. And so we're doing futures today. If you ever want, you'll enjoy this video and you would like a spot version, you let me know in the comments. If a lot of you ask, I'll definitely do one. And there we go. So as I was mentioning, the first thing that we need to do is authenticate so that when we're placing orders, as they're saying, okay, that code sending me placements or whatever is allowed to place an order on this account. He's signed, he's authenticated, so all good. So let's look into this. So when you're on the Aster DEX welcome page, you can click on Launch App. Then this will take you to a page that looks like this, but up here you'll be able to connect. Here you have two possibilities. And by the way, I want to mention this is a pedagogical video. This is about me sharing my opinions, my work, my enthusiasm, but you need to know that trading is risky and it has the risk of losing all your capital. Okay, now back to the authenticate methods. Two ways. So you can either create an account with your email, and we'll see that next. And here what I did was the other way. This is to link my wallet, in this case, a MetaMask wallet. So I've created, I've connected, etc. Don't want to show you all the addresses, all of that. So I'm not clicking. I've done it. It's pretty easy. You can do it. What do we do now to get the authorization, the credentials we need to put in here for the code to work and place the orders for us? We do right now. So we go to more. In more, we have a API management. Then from here, we can go. What I want to do is go Pro API here. And here I'll create a new one to show you authorize new wallet. Okay, tutorial. There we go. Then we do generate. This is the first thing we want to copy this here and actually API wallet address. So I'll put it here. Then the API key, secret key was generated as well. So I'm doing a copy here and coming in here. And finally, we're missing the wallet address. This would be the wallet address that you have up here. So you would just copy here, authorize here, etc. I want to mention I'm going to flip and show you with the email account way, and I'm going to do the rest of the tutorial with that. But obviously, I'm showing you all those details, but you need to know that these are private credentials. You should never share them with a third party or whatever, because that can give access to all your money to that third party. So be very careful with that. Okay, we'll move to the second method now. Okay, so I'm back to this page I mentioned where I'm not connected yet. You can see the connect wallet here. So you see all the possibilities. And I mentioned we're doing the second type here, login with email. So I'll do my own email login. I'll be back with you in 2 seconds. Okay, so I've connected. And what also I did was to come in API management here. And this time I'm sticking to API. And then we can create our API keys. So let's call it tutorial, great. Can do IP restrictions, not doing that for this tutorial. Great. And you can see we have API key and API secret key. So let's get the first one. And you can see I've commented this. We're now using this method here. So API key. Great. Then let's get back to this one, copy this and confirm at the same time. There we go. There we go. I can run that cell. It all worked great, but to be sure that everything worked fine, we can do something, for example, fetch our balance. As you can see, here I'm using Aster.getBalance, where Aster was that big class I mentioned earlier. So that's we'll be doing all of that, where Aster is an instance of that class that was authenticated with our API key. That's how I should say it professionally, better, correctly, beg your pardon. So let's just run it and let's see. And you will see no errors. Everything went fine. We've pasted the correct credentials, etc. By the way, the get balance is a bit weird. The data structure that we get from Aster, it's this list of sets. So not the easiest thing to handle. So I created a little get coin balance method. And you can see if we run this, then we'll get the one for USDT that we have here. So that's great. Before we move on to the real deal, setting leverage, placing orders, TPSL, all of everything, I just want to mention, if you want to support me in my work in this channel with all this open source and tutorials, all of this, if you ever create an account on Aster, there's a link down below, that a registration link, which will give you a 5% discount on your training fees, but also I will get some percentage back from those trading fees. And that's a huge support for me. So I thank you a lot if you do that. The other thing I want to mention, if you ever need a professional touch coding, trading bot, or some form of automated trading with Python on crypto in general, whatever, you can let me know. This is what I do for my clients as well. So there you go. Let's get to the real stuff. So the first thing I want to show you is not exactly placing orders. It's more about configuring your account. This can be important when you're doing trading loss or whatever. So how to set your leverage and how your margin mode, margin type. So there you go. So I should probably show you Ethereum USDT perpetual cross 2x. So I want to show first, if I do this, that will change to, I'm asking for a leverage of 1 on Ethereum. Great. So there we go. And you will see that sometimes it doesn't refresh the page. So you just have to refresh manually and you will see that things get done. And there you go. We went to 1x. So great. Let's do the same thing for margin mode. So I'm now shifting to isolated. And yes, I mustn't forget, but I don't know what you will be you have an asset mode that you see here on Aster, single asset mode. I think when you first create your account, it might be on a multi-asset mode. So if you want this to work, you need to be in single asset mode. Otherwise, you'll have an error. So you can just change on the platform if you need that. So let me just run this and we will see. Again, we'll have to do the refresh. And great, we got to isolate it. So there we go. We are done with the margin types. I actually want to show you we'll be using prices to do conversion from base to quote amount, etc. So I just wanted to show you there's this get ticker price, which retrieves the ticker price. So this will give us the current price of Ethereum ticker price. So what we're 19. Okay, there you go. Great. So we can move on. Market order with TPSL. So I basically we'll discuss the batching of orders, because if you want to link your orders with TPSL's training, you batch them in the same API call. Won't go into all the detail, but the point is I've created some helper functions that you can also use as an example to do your own. But typically we have this place order with TPSL. So basically, if you don't give a stop loss price or don't give a take profit price, it won't place a take profit, stop loss, whatever. So maybe I should just show you with nothing here. So I'm just giving the symbol. I'm saying side buy. That means I'll be opening long. If you put sell, it'll open a short. Cost, I want to think in terms of cost of USDTs or whatever. So I put the cost to be 20, open a position of size 20 USDT. But to the API, what it likes is a quantity in the amount, in the base currency. So what I do is basically I say it's my cost divided by this current price. That's why I was showing you this get taker price, because I'm using it here quite often. So there you go. So I think we can just run this and you will see this should show pretty soon on here what happened. Oh, so we did have the order. There we go. Okay. It just didn't refresh fast enough. So we have it here. Great. So I'm going to do a close all because I want to show you, like adding a stop loss with it. So here I'm being, like I'm saying, 5% stop loss. So there we go. So if I now run this and we come here, we will see it appear. There we go. And it arrived. So you can see everything. But what is very nice is that we can see, I should have shown you before, but before we had nothing linked. But now we indeed have the stop loss attached to that position. So if you go and open orders, we see it. There we go. So it would be triggered with that given that price level. Okay. So what I want to do is do also close all, and then I won't do the stop loss by itself, but obviously, take profit. But if you want just the take profit, you can also do that. No problem. We'll just do both at the same time. I put here the take profit at 10%, just an example. So we'll just run this, and then I'm always printing. This is what the API returns the response. So it gives you the details of all the orders that it's placed. So there we go. Basically, you see the batching here. There's a first order here. There's a second order here for a stop loss, etc. We'll see that in a detail a bit later. But as you can see, it appeared here. We now indeed have TPSL, very nice, and you can see them here. So if you can see stop market. Sorry, I should have mentioned that before, but we do see stop market. We see that it is a reduce only. That's important. It means it will only close the position. I should have also mentioned that before, but we have the key information that if this is hit, it will close the full position. It's not a partial. And here we have the take profit as well. Now you can see stop loss this is a long. Stop loss would be executed if the price goes equal below our level, while for the take profit is equal or above. It makes sense. We see take profit here, reduce only. Great. So you know what? Oh, I want to show you how to close the position, by the way. So I'll leave them here and we will move to the next cell, because what is happening is that what I want to mention is that it's a bit silly. Actually, I'll show you. I don't know why, but when I close here, if I do, a market close, I close the position. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but the API doesn't close the embedded stop loss and take profits. So let me close this. And what I want to show you is that I created this cancel all orders that will cancel everything for you. But I think before that, what we can do is reduce the position and also by a certain amount and fully. So let me do this. I'm going a bit backwards, but let me open a new position. So this is opened. I'm going to show you this get position info because this is going to be important here. So bear with me. We run this. This is to retrieve all the position information on your open position on Ethereum. So we have here, why am I doing this? You could need to access many things here. But one important thing is position amount. Why am I doing this? Because in this reduce, so I'm just showing you, we have our open position here, 0.005 Ethereum, very good. Okay. So let's say I want to reduce the position by half. So what I'm doing is I don't want to have to manually type the actual quantity. I'm retrieving the position info, and then I'm saying get the position amount, divide that by 2, and place the order with that. So we'll do that right now. So let's do this. We'll come here and we have 0.03. There's always those rounding things, etc. So that's why we don't have 0.0025, etc. Moving on, let's say now we want to fully close the position algorithmically. So now I'm just saying now you retrieve the quantity, the position amount, and use that to close. Again, something important I should have mentioned, but because I'm closing positions, I'm putting this flag reduce only to true. This means it can only close a position. It cannot open more of a position, but on the other side, like starting to open a short if you maybe the rounding or something, you put the wrong number at some point or whatever, it can only close a position, not do more than that. Anyway, so I mentioned this. This is now a quantity, so full quantity to close. I'm running. What we will see that the position disappeared. And as I was mentioning originally, unfortunately, those orders were not, the take profit stop loss are not automatically clean, removed. So that's why I created this little cancel all orders that if you run it, you will see that it cleans everything. There you go. Okay, great. We're moving on. So now the batching of orders, I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically there is a method that the Aster DEX supports where you can batch an order, maximum 5, and this will link the orders together, etc. So that's very nice if, for example, you want to build your own, I don't know, something with 2 partial take profits, 1 trailing stop loss. I don't know. You can really combine things as you want. So I'm showing you an example. First order here will open along a market order. Then here I'm adding my stop loss. Then here I'm adding a partial take profit where you see I'm saying that my partial will be half of the position here. And something important is that I'm giving the quantity here. But for full take profit, you give the close position. So this is just an example. We'll run it right now. But why am I showing you this is because basically I've used this batch method to pre-configure, to create my methods where we are. That method that I was using before place order with TPSL. Basically, I'm adding, thanks to this, you see I'm using the place batch order here internally, but I'm adding, if you give me a stop loss price, add an order, the stop loss order. If you're giving me a take profit price, add the take profit order. And you will see I also use this to, we'll test just after, to place an order with a trailing stop loss. But you can easily come and use this to, if you want to pre-build your own batch orders, feel free to come and copy paste, modify this, etc. Anyway, so I've said enough with this. I think I should just show you that this batch order will do everything that we want. We have no positions, very good. So I'm just running this, executing. Again, we're seeing all the information here. And if we come here, we should get our position. Nice, so open, very good. And we have our 3 orders here. So we have indeed our stop market, stop loss, take profit market, but see this one, we don't have the close position tag here. We have indeed 0.002 Ethereum, which is indeed a half of the position here. So my partial. And then the final one here that will close everything, that was the final one. So I think I can close everything, clear all, it'll clear everything. Great, and I think we can move on to the trailing stop loss. I'm going a bit fast with all of this. I didn't want to make a 1 hour long tutorial video, but if you have questions or whatever about all of this, don't hesitate to join the community Discord. You can ask questions there, ask me. You're very welcome. Okay, so we were at trailing stop loss. We'll do a market order. I'm using this opportunity to do a short. So here we have a sell, etc., cost, whatever. 2 important configurations that you can give to open with a trailing stop loss. Callback rate, you always have to give that. So here, 1%. But if you wanted to, you can also give an activation price. So if you just don't give it, give none, for example, the platform will automatically compute the activation price such that it activates straight away. But you could say, for example, I want my trailing stop loss to only become active if once I've done 5% profits. So that's why here in the example, I do current price times 0.95. Remember, this is smaller than 1 because I'm doing a short. So you know what? Let's just execute this. We'll come here, open position. We have a short that is indeed opened. Open orders. What do we see? Trailing stop loss, good. Callback rate, 1%. fill the amount. There we go. They're very good. And activation price, you see, it was automatically given by the set by the platform, and it was low above that price. There we go. So that's great. I think I could simply come here, close or confirm. There we go. And then move on to the next step, which is the limit order. So back to doing a long. Oh, yes. And you can see same method that I created, place order with TPSL. It's just if you don't give entry price, it automatically knows it's a market order. If you give an entry price, then it automatically knows it's a limit order. So here I'm saying I'd be quite happy to open a long if the price of Ethereum goes to 3,800. Great. So again, if you want to put TPSL or not, you comment, etc. This is up to you. And I would say we put everything. I just run this, and we should have there we go. 3 orders. Makes sense, right? Our limit order, take profit order, stop loss. We have the price limit order price here. Great. So, oh yes, and so what I want to show you is how if you wanted to, for example, cancel the limit order or something like that. So what you can do, let's say you hadn't stored the ID or something like this, you need to retrieve the order ID, because this is how you can cancel, by giving the order ID. So this actually doesn't print. So let me just actually just do order here, so we see everything. And there we go. So we have several open orders. So we have, this is our entry order, but we have also the take profit, etc. So what I want to say, we'll take the first one. So that's why I'm doing 0 in the list, and then I'm fetching the order ID. This is the order ID I want to cancel. I'm just going to execute this, and we can see I was wrong into saying that the first one sorry, you should have stopped me. This was the take profit, so that's why I canceled the take profit, but you have in the list here. So actually, why not let's do it. So it was in the list, take profit was first, then we had stop market, and then the last was this one. So I should have put 2 here to go, and I would have closed the limit order. There we go. Great. So there we go. That's that. And oh yes, I wanted to, let me actually I can fully clean this here. There we go. And one important thing when you're doing automated trading, you might be wanting to compute some technical indicators or things like that. That's, you generally need to get your OHLCV data. So I worked a bit here. You have this get K lines method in the class, but what I did is to configure that you can give a start time and end time in the date time format, so pandas format, and this will give a data nicely packed into a data frame to make things easier, a pandas data frame. So very nice. Awesome. It was a pleasure presenting this to you. I hope you found it valuable. Don't forget, if you want to try Aster, the registration link will give you 5% discount on your training fees, and is also huge support to me. So thanks a lot for this, and happy trading. Take care, and see you soon.